Today, I'm chatting to the powerful and dynamic businesswoman who is Australia's leading authority in helping first-time authors write their book in 48 hours and publish it. Imagine that! Natasa Denman is the incredible businesswoman behind the phenomenal success of the 48-hour retreat and has penned 9 books to prove you can write your book in 48 hours. Natasa has created the blueprint for ultimate book writing success. Her passion is to teach others how to create a lifestyle business and get out of the 9-to-5 rut through the leverage of authoring. Welcome to CHTV, Natasa. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Christina. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited because I have to know. I mean, seriously, I love how you say you're not here to help people sell books. You're here to help them create a business card on steroids. I mean, what a phenomenal statement. Seriously. Tell us about that.
Yes, I mean, my husband came up with that statement. I have to give him the rights. And people have loved it when I say it because they never have thought about that aspect of the book, it being the business card on steroids, because there's realistically no money in books. Yeah, I often say to people, I have a longer conversation selling a $20 product than a $20,000 program. And the book is there as that subconscious credibility builder. The trust process, the rapport just gets, the time frame gets shortened. Therefore, you end up, gaining the credibility and getting, people to trust you and therefore know that you're serious about what you're doing. Because when you're an author, there's a level of, stigma, good stigma, right? That you are disciplined, that you are an expert, that you will stand up for your message, and that you will, deliver on your promises, which is what people want, right?
Absolutely. Now, I always said one would need a psychology degree to be in business, and you actually have that.
Yes.
I mean, this is actually phenomenal because you're able to help people address limiting self-beliefs. So what are some of those common self-limiting beliefs that you encounter?
Oh, so many. And that's why I wrote this this book, Shut Up and Write Your First Book. It says 48 reasons that stand in your way. At my half-day seminars, I've done it 150 times, and I've met thousands of people, right? And the same patterns keep repeating themselves. The number one reason why people don't write books is because of self-doubt, right? Fear. And most of the time it's fear of success, not of failure, right? So when it's fear of success, what I always say, it's like kind of people go, but why would you be scared of success? Because on some subconscious level, people equate success equals I'll be too busy, therefore I'll have no life. But it's not true, because at the beginning, yes, you might be busier. You may not have the time and your life will be completely out of balance until you get the rocket off the ground. But once you have that energy and the rocket off the ground, you set up your systems and the infrastructure, then it's cruise control. You're cruising. So
absolutely.
Mindset is the one thing that's standing in people's way to write that first book.
So tell me, why is writing a book a transformation? What is that?
Great question. And I have a famous quote I'm known for saying, and that is, it's not about writing your first book, it's about the person you become at the other end of it. I believe writing a book, and for the first time, ends up being an identity shift. Okay? So, I don't know, you're a mum of 3, I'm a mum of 3. When we became mums, our identity shifted, right?
Yes.
Priorities, who we saw each other as people, what we wanted to do moving forward in the future, and how we wanted to teach and nurture our children, right?
Yes.
And I believe when you give birth to your first book, that identity shifts as well. Watch me. This is what happened to me. So I picked up, this was my very first book, 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss, and I opened the first proof copy, and I saw my face on the book, and I went, oh my God, that's me. I'm so good. Not many people do this. And it was as if I grew like 2 inches taller, right? And then I went out networking, and I would proudly say, hi, I'm Natasa Denman, the ultimate weight loss coach, and I help people lose the last 10 kilos. And I wouldn't say, hey, this is my book, but be holding it there, right? And that in itself started to develop this feeling as if people, I want to have what she's having, right? And I was like, started to get clients. I mean, I had 2 paying clients when this first book came out. And all of a sudden, in about 90 days, I had a fully booked weight loss coaching practice. So it's a transformation second to none, and an identity shift that first you will transform, then you get the opportunities in the business and the people wanting to work with you. That's what I believe happens. It's not like this magic bullet that I have a book now people are just going to hire me. It's not like that.
Wow, that's incredible. Now
Yeah.
tell me, what are those 3 things in your life that create fulfillment?
My happiness trifecta.
Okay.
Okay, so I believe for anyone to be happy in life, there are 3 things, and one of them is the hardest to get. Number 1, people need lifestyle. They want lifestyle, right? Secondly, they need income, because we need to put a roof over our heads, feed our family, and be able to sustain our life, right? But the third one, which is the hardest one to achieve, is contribution. Okay, so this is where we are helping others who are then helping others. And if you can achieve a contribution around your business or whatever you do in your life, then you have those 3, that's the fulfillment that I believe then makes you super happy, right? So contribution is one that I found was lacking when I licensed one of my businesses. So the weight loss system ended up being licensed, and I sold 33 licenses around Australia, and then a licensed product development niche, and I did a lot of one-to-many kind of work. But with that, I made a mistake that I didn't price myself high enough. Okay. So there's a famous saying, people who don't pay, they don't pay attention. People who pay little, they pay little attention. And people who pay a lot, they pay a lot of attention.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so, by not pricing myself high enough, people would be excited for a few months and then put it up on the shelf help, right? And so, when I came forward to make the Ultimate 48-Hour Author program, I needed to design something that would get me success. Success that was higher than the usual 3% of people only following through when they do mentorship programs, seminars, and hire other experts. Because that's the dismal percentage of success that you see in ROI in people investing into other people. And that's what I was getting with the licensing. So when Ultimate 48-Hour Author came about, it's like, how can I trick people into following through and getting a result? And I'm proud to say, sitting here today, that 93% of our authors follow through and get their outcome, and of course do amazing things with them.
That
and
is
some of the people
remarkable.
we know together that have done the program. And so do you want to know what the tricks are?
Yes, please. I'm sure the viewers want to know what the tricks are.
There's 2 tricks. What I do for the authors, as soon as we prep and unpack them, we create a mock-up cover of their book. So it's not physical book, it's obviously a laminated cover of a 3D image. And they bring that along on the Friday night of the retreat, during which period we have also helped them set up a PayPal button, right, to get paid for pre-launch copies of the book. So what happens is, on the Friday night after dinner, with a wine in hand and dessert, we sit down and pre-launch everyone's books. It's a bit scary for the authors, but it's encouraging because they're doing it in a group and they have the support. And basically, the pre-sales start coming because all their nearest, dearest network starts to support them, right? They sell their books, let's say, $20 instead of $30 when it comes out, so there's an incentive to pre-purchase. And so they've shown them the mock-up cover. They say, my book's going to be out in 3 to 4 months' time. And the money's coming to the PayPal account. Now, all of a sudden, what's happened? They've made a commitment, not just to me and their fellow retreat participants, they've made a commitment to other people who love them and want to see this come into reality. So I always say the cure to procrastination is make a commitment to someone else, right? And so by making a commitment to someone else, you now have to follow through. So that's my trick number 1. I know it can sound scary for people. It's the most exciting because all weekend during the retreat, all I hear is squeals and people celebrating. The most books ever sold in the first 48 hours for us is 444. So this woman walked away from the retreat having sold over $9,000 worth of books, which was half of her program investment that's obviously an outlier. But everyone sells books, and that's encouraging to complete it. The second thing, how I trick my people, is I have included everything, Christina. Like, everything from start to finish, because there's a jigsaw puzzle when writing a book that there's about 10 people involved in the process. You know, from layout people, designers, cover designers, transcriptionists, obviously our mentorship, you know, photography, you know, there's lots of things, you know, that you need to pull together and you need to look for to make sure you end up with a high quality product. And when I was designing it, I thought, I'm going to include everything. This is going to be a high-end program, but it's going to be all in one place, and there's going to be hand-holding from start to finish. And by having that, I mean, my bookshelf at home is falling apart from the heaviness of the amount of my author, and I'm not going to obviously chuck my author's books, so I have to like probably set up a library of just my authors as I go through these years helping people. Yeah.
That's incredible. Amazing success.
Thank you.
Now, as a business owner, how important is it to actually write a book? How
Super.
important?
Everyone, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to be in control of your success, you must write a book, right? Because it's your business card on steroids. I mean, forget about those pieces of paper people used to hand out 100 years ago, you know what I mean? It's something that people can look at, they can see value, because I don't know if you know this statistic, but it takes 10 to 12 hours of content consumption before someone is ready to buy from you.
Incredible.
So us doing some videos, interviews, workshops, blogs, live streaming. I mean, this is how I blast out all my content. So when people are ready to buy from me, sometimes they've followed me and watched me, and that's where they've consumed their 10 to 12 hours. So when they come to consider working with me, it's like a no-brainer. A book is about 4 or 5 hours of reading. Hey, you get to hang out with the person that you're interested in, their whatever problem they're solving for a few hours, which means the rapport and the experience that you go through that journey can really make an informed decision whether you want to work with them or not.
So these business owners are not just writing a novel or a children's story. This is a specific way to actually share your story.
Absolutely. So what I always say is we don't do fiction or children's books. I can publish those, however, I will not take them through my program. The program is about leveraging, finding what someone's story is. So we'd certainly do autobiographical, because every autobiographical story has a zero to hero a component, which has lessons that can be compiled together with a system. Because people buy the story with the system. Make sense? And then there's obviously the books that are how to. They might have less story, more strategy. But those are our two, our zone of genius lies in autobiographical and how-to books.